Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down compelling stories to uncover some really powerful lessons. Today, we're diving into a fascinating case study that comes from a small village. It's all about competition, tradition, and, well, a partnership that was born from total chaos. And it all kicks off with a moment of pure, unadulterated fury.
So we're jumping right into the middle of the action. Imagine this, an angry mob. They've got stones, they've got sticks, and they are screaming for the complete and total destruction of a brand new restaurant. I mean, it is a scene of just absolute rage. You have to ask, right? What could have possibly gone so wrong so quickly? How does a hopeful entrepreneur with a new business end up facing down the fury of an entire village? Well, to figure that out, we've got to hit rewind and go back to how this whole thing started.
Okay, so our story really begins with a young guy named Arjun. He's full of ambition. He leaves the big city and he comes back to his home village with this one single, really clear goal. He wants to open a modern restaurant, something his village has never, ever seen before.
And this is where the central conflict is laid out so perfectly. You've got Arjun's restaurant, it's modern, it's clean, it's serving city food like pizza and pasta. And it is in direct opposition to Mithu's Dhaba, a traditional, super crowded, but absolutely beloved eatery that's basically been the heart of the community for years, serving staple dishes like dal and roti. It's the classic newcomer versus the old guard, the beloved institution. But here's the thing. At first, there's no bad blood. Actually, it's the opposite. Mithu, the respected owner of the dhaba, he sees Arjun working his tail off and he actually offers him some kind words of encouragement. He wishes him well, tells him hard work pays off as long as his intentions are good. It's a really friendly, supportive start. So let's see how this whole dynamic starts to shift. Arjun's place opens with a huge celebration. And in this really amazing show of support, Mithu and his family, they're his very first customers. The initial buzz is strong, but that excitement, it starts to fade, and fast. And man, things went downhill for him so quickly. After that first week's curiosity wears off, the villagers, they just go back to what they know and love, Mithu's familiar food. By week 3, Arjun's restaurant is practically empty. A month in, he gets that dreaded call from the bank about a missed loan payment. And by the second month, he's facing the very real threat of losing everything he's built. So what was the problem? Well, one of the local villagers just sums it up perfectly. Novelty things, like pizza, they're fine for a treat once in a while. But for your daily meal, people want the comfort of their staple food. Arjun totally missed this. He failed to understand the deep-rooted habits of his customers. He wasn't selling a necessity. He was selling a luxury. So Arjun's confused, he's desperate, and he decides one night to go check out his competition. And what he finds just blows his mind. Mithu's kitchen is, well, it's a mess. It's filthy. The cooks have no gloves, there's no proper hygiene, and maybe worst of all, there's no official food safety license from the government.
And this discovery, it's the spark that lights the fuse. The very next day, a government vehicle pulls up to Mithu's dhaba, and that friendly competition we saw earlier, it is about to explode into all-out war. And the process is just swift and brutal. An anonymous complaint comes in, which leads to an official inspection. The officials, they confirm every single violation Arjun saw, and since Mithu doesn't have that legally required license, they have no choice, they shut him down and seal the business on the spot. Just like that, an institution that's been there for decades is gone. Mithu is absolutely devastated. And in his mind, there's only one person who could have done this. Arjun had just asked him about that specific FSSAI license the night before. I mean, the timing is just too perfect to be a coincidence. He goes straight to the village head, the Sarpanch, with what he believes is the truth. Now, in a small, tight-knit village like this, news travels like wildfire. The Sarpanch hears that a beloved elder has been wronged by what he thinks is a trick from a city kid, and he is furious. He rallies the villagers, and that fierce loyalty, well, that brings us right back to where we started. An angry mob heading for Arjun's restaurant, ready to tear it to the ground. So Arjun gets dragged out of his shattered restaurant to face the mob. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is convinced he's the bad guy here. But in this moment of pure desperation, he just passionately denies everything. He swears on his father's name, which, in this community, is a really powerful and deeply meaningful oath. And the sincerity in his voice, it's so raw, so undeniable, that it actually makes the Sarpanch and even Mithu pause. For the very first time, a little seed of doubt is planted.
And right there, in that tiny moment of hesitation, the real story starts to come out. An employee from Mithu's own Daba steps forward, and he reveals that another villager, a guy named Lalan, was secretly eavesdropping on Arjun and Mithu's conversation the night before. Suddenly, all eyes turn away from Arjun.
So who is this Lalin guy? Well, it turns out he's been holding on to a grudge for a long, long time. He tried to open his own Daba years ago, but it failed miserably. So he's just been consumed by jealousy. He couldn't stand seeing Mithu's success, and he couldn't stand seeing Arjun's new ambition. So he twisted Arjun's innocent questions into a weapon, hoping he could take them both down.
With the truth finally out, the Sarpanch does something truly brilliant. He doesn't just act like a judge, he basically becomes a business strategist. He points out a simple, hard truth. On their own, both Arjun and Mithu were on a path to failure.
And his solution is it's perfect. It's all about synergy. He proposes a partnership. Arjun brings the modern touch, the hygiene, the knowledge of all the legal stuff, and Mithu, he brings the traditional taste that everybody loves, the community's trust, and that deep customer loyalty. You see, separately, they were incomplete, but together, they could be an absolute powerhouse.
And in this incredible act of reconciliation and just smart thinking, Mithu agrees. He offers up his own savings to fix the damage to Arjun's restaurant, officially turning their bitter rivalry into a brand new partnership. They're going to rebuild, but this time, they're going to do it together.
So, what's the big takeaway here? This whole village drama is actually packed with some incredibly powerful business lessons. Arjun learned that you can't just ignore tradition when you innovate. They both learned that going head-to-head was just destroying them both. The story shows that working together is often a way, way better strategy, and that real lasting success comes from combining different complementary skills.
And the whole story wraps up with this really perfect local proverb. It basically means the child is right there in your lap, but you're running around the city announcing that he's lost. The solution for both Arjun and Mithu was right next to them the entire time. It was each other. They just couldn't see it because they were blinded by the idea of competition. And that leaves us with a final, really important question for anyone in business, or really in any walk of life. Are you so focused on beating your rivals that you're completely overlooking an opportunity to create something far better together? What potential partnerships might you be missing just because you're looking at someone as an enemy instead of a potential ally?